Hey everybody, welcome to a new edition of Humor Mill TV. I'm your host, Frank Holder. I'm sitting here with actor, comedian, comedic actor, of course, producer, director, writer. You do everything everything under the sun behind the camera, and even some stuff in front of the camera. Mr. Brian Hooks. Brian, how you doing today, bro?
Good, man. Can't complain. Happy to be here, man. Chopping it up with you. What
Yeah,
about yourself?
I'm very happy here too. I've been trying to catch up with you almost like 15 years, man. It's amazing that I'm finally be able to catch up with you. So I'm very appreciative of that, bro. You
Yeah,
so
definitely.
busy. You so busy. You a hard man to catch up to. So
Long overdue. I'm an independent guy, man. So I got to do all the heavy lifting.
yeah,
I don't push a button and things come to mature, man. I push the button, then I go get the box and take it on the other side of the room and all that good stuff. So
yeah. You probably
yeah,
on the floor too, huh?
yeah, exactly.
All right, let me just get this, first this interview started. First thing I wanted to ask you, which is really crazy, is we already know about the stuff you do behind the cameras and everything else, but I'm real curious, man. Why, with your comedy talent and your comedic timing on film, why haven't you tried? Unless you did, why haven't you tried stand up? Because according to my research, I've never seen you on stage, and you have amazing comedic talent on film. Where timing, the timing is everything. So why haven't you tried stand up?
Thanks. I actually have, man, but it hasn't been long. The past the year before everything shut down, I just started my reintroduction tour. And so a lot of folks thought that I was a stand-up comedian forever, but I wasn't. So it's just in the last, it's been 3 years now, minus the, last year when we were shut down. But I was out there building up to actually shoot a special, which I'll be doing depending on how the clubs open up this year towards the end of the year, man. So it wasn't how I started, but it's definitely something I'm doing now. And the thing with that is I never wanted to disrespect the art of stand-up comedy because it's a beast. And
Right.
if you can stand up there and command the audience for an hour or whatever it may be, 10 minutes, even 5 minutes, then that's a gift. And I never wanted to do it before I was ready, man. So I took my time. I did the work. I was, doing open mics and, grinding it out, man. And I finally took it out. And, I did a number of improvs and funny bones across the country, man. And I think I think you'll enjoy the stand up once you ultimately see the special, man.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to that. So, how
Yeah.
is your comedic timing translated to you being on stage? Like, is it a very, very different, or can you explain a little bit more on that?
I think, what a lot of people was always say, yo, you got great timing. You need to, be doing stand up. And to me, I was an actor and I understood that, but I hadn't dove in that pond. So I didn't necessarily understand how that translated. But now being on stage, I get it. There's a certain cadence and time it's built into you commanding an audience and then making them laugh. And so that's it was very, very natural for me. But of course, it also took a lot of work to sort of, find those pockets that you need that are very specific to stand-up comedy, man. But it was ultimately a smooth transition. I'm a natural writer. I act, and so comedy has been the foundation of everything that I've done. So, and I love it, man. It's nothing like it, unlike acting and stuff where you have a safety net, you can cut, take, let's run it back, let's switch this. Stand up, man. You out there and something don't go wrong. It's gonna be a long hour, bro. A long hour.
Yeah, yeah. Believe me, I've seen it happen.
Challenge, and I love it though.
I've seen it happen. So let me ask you this: if know what you know now, if you could have gone way back when you first started out, would you have started out in stand up first and then do it? Because it seems like your comedy talent and being able to have the timing and stuff on stage is natural for you. Would you have started it a whole lot earlier?
1000%, 1000%. And the thing, I was always, independent filmmaking has been my foundation. So that was always, it was acting and it was me, feeding, what I mean, my gift of filmmaking independently. And again, stand up is something that requires attention. But if I could go back 1000%, man, because it enhances everything you do as an entertainer, as a comic, as doing comedy on screen, as writing. It's just so many muscles you exercise. That's why you'll notice most sitcoms you see, those folks were stand-up comedians, you know, before it started, because, you know, they just have, you know, comedians have a natural gift of writing and timing and making people laugh if they're good. And it translates to TV most times. So it's definitely something that, you know, increases the stock of an individual. So being in entertainment and having the ability to do stand up and not having diving into it until I did, I absolutely would have done it sooner. Yeah.
Well, the difference is, though, and not to disrespect a lot of comedians and everything else, but you being a comedic and an actor and everything else, you can act. Comedians usually have that problem when they translate to film and television, because a lot of them can't act. So the show or the film or whatever it is doesn't really come across good because they can't act. You know what I mean? So that's why I asked you that question, because we all know you can act, and being to do the things that you're able to do, it comes off almost looking seamlessly. That's why I asked you that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very, very true too. It doesn't. There's a lot of, you know, comics that I love, like, but they can't act their way out of a paper bag. You know, it just doesn't translate.
Right.
They're great creators. They're great behind the camera. It translates, but they cannot act. So that's very, very true, man. But I like to think I do both very well, and I think you agree ultimately when you see the set.
Okay, well, let's talk about this new project you got. It's something that I got some information on. It's called Adam and Eve. I heard it's under your new production banner, which is dope too, because it's called, your new production banner is called Left of Bang Entertainment. So first of all, before we even talk about the film, can you even tell us about what Left of Bang Entertainment is? I mean, I read about it. I have some. Can you tell the fans out there what
Left of Bang is? It just represents a milestone in my life, and I came to a crossroads where I was trying to figure out what else, what more, like what am I doing, what is going to be my legacy. And this was like a 2-year process to figure this out. And so I decided, after, you know, conversing with my mentors, Willie Hooks and George Anton, and joining the Santa Monica Rotary, whose motto is service over self. That's what they're built around, and that's what they do. Doing a lot of reading and things like that. And one of the quotes I love is a Steve Jobs quote, where it was at a time he was trying to lure someone to come and work with him. And this guy was the head of PepsiCo. And Steve Jobs tried everything to get this guy to come and work with him at Apple, but he continuously got rejected until he asked him the game-changing question that got the guy to say yes. And this question was the catalyst in really changing my life. He asked him, do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world? And so I was forced to look at myself in the mirror and ask myself that same question. And I had been making a lot of Kool-Aid, a lot of sugar water, you know. And that's around when Left the Bang was born. And the bang represents an action moment in a youth's life where they decide to pick up a gun, commit a violent act, join a gang, anything that puts them on the wrong side of the law. My goal and our mission at Left the Bang Entertainment is to capture these youth before the bang and keep them left the bang. And so we extend the olive branch into the inner city and allow those youth to take part and be a part of the Hollywood magic. And it's so coveted, it's so exciting, and has such an appeal to the entire world. And we want to use that energy to give these kids a sense of hope, allow them to be a part of something more than the options sometimes afforded to some of these inner city youth. Because the number one reason they join gangs and start selling drugs and doing some of this stuff is because they're looking for a sense of family. And that's the closest thing they can get to that. And so we want to provide them with that sense of family and usher them through their teenage years. Because given the option to choose between shooting movies and shooting guns, these youth will obviously choose shooting movies every time. And so that's what the program is. No longer will I be making entertainment to see how much I can get and how much I can make people laugh and so on and so forth. It must have a social impact and move the world forward. And one of the ways I'm going to do this is through mentoring and allowing these youth to have a sense of family through our program. And it's small now, but my goal is it to be thousands and thousands of kids in this program when it's all said and done, who could experience mentorship, learn filmmaking, or just be supported in anything that they decide they want to do, because a lot of times they're not afforded that opportunity in where they're born in some of their situations. And so that's what Left the Bang Entertainment is about. And it signifies me coming to a crossroads in my life, and again, entertainment with a social impact. So there'll still be a lot of funny, there'll still be a lot of entertainment, but everything we do, know that it's benefiting youth who need it.
Essentially, it sounds like they're going to film school without having to really apply to go to film school, and they're learning it from a person such as yourself who's been in A-list, things such as films and TV and television. So it sounds like it's film school. So what has then the response been out in obviously in the community when people even found out that you're offering this? What's the response?
It's been amazing. You know what I mean? A lot of people have ideas, but they don't push forward with them, or they would like to be a part of something like this, but they don't have the time, energy, or whatever. So I've reached out to a lot of my, celebrity friends, Vivica Fox, and a host of others, to have them come home and serve as mentors and say what's up and say, a couple of good words, to these youth, to keep them inspired and keep them focused. So there will always be that aspect to where they will get the high five, touch, and be a part. And ultimately, once all this craziness is done, even be on set, working hands-on with celebrities that they look up to and love. But, the response has been amazing. Again, like you said, it's a film school that I'm doing for youth for free, just to give back and allow them to learn something that can ultimately give them the tools they need to survive and feed themselves and feed their families. So it's been a great response, man. And the feeling I get personally from, now, making a difference and trying to make an impact is just super amazing, man. So I'm really excited.
Well, I'm excited too, because I can only imagine that the looks in these kids' eyes when they be able to absolutely do something and be around people like yourself and everything else. But let's move on. And let me ask you about the film Adam and Eve. And because Adam and Eve is what this project of yours is doing, and you're making a film. And can you please tell us about the film, number one, and why else tell us about the film? Can you tell us, some of these kids, are they helping you to put together this film also?
Yep. I always include them. A lot of them want to do music and things like that. So I allow them to be involved. I allow them music to be in the film when it makes sense. I get them involved in the post-production, the pre-production. One of the things, once we hit the quarantine, I couldn't have them physically on set. So virtually, we stayed in touch weekly. And then I went live when I was on set shooting Adam and Eve with them, and they dug it and they had a good time. But Adam and Eve is it's my next project, and we were sitting in the middle of this pandemic, and I'm thinking like, this is the new normal. So I had to figure out a way to pivot and move forward. And I did that with Adam and Eve, and it's a love story, a drama about these two people, man and a woman, who fall in love. They both have, some past and skeletons in their closet. And at the moment, they figure out their soulmates and looking to have this, amazing life together. Both of their pasts start to creep out their closet, and it prevents them from moving forward smoothly and living happily ever after. So it's a bit of a, different from, my prior independent films, because it is a love story and a straight drama. But it's me getting back to what I do independently and giving you a little bit of everything. And I think folks are going to really enjoy this film. It's sort of in the same vein and taste as Jason's Lyric from back in the day. And I'm excited about it, man, because it came out amazing. We're in post-production now. A lot of new independent talent that I'm using, and that'll be the tone in all my films moving forward. My foundation has been independent filmmaking, and it was always, you know, around me and new talent. And so, you know, I represent the underdog. And so I'm reaching out to independent folks, whether it be music, actors, musicians, you know, cameraman, writers, whatever it may be. And I'm creating space for them. So when you see these films, you'll just see, you know, super talented folks. It may not be the people you used to seeing. That's not the makeup, but I guarantee you will enjoy this film and the films to come. I'm excited about it, man.
Yeah. Have you learned anything from doing a film that's now love and drama? Because it's a little bit outside your wheelhouse. You know, comedy is your wheelhouse. But
yeah, I would say, you know, I've always been able to do drama. I just the comedy jumped off so hard first, and that's sort of, you know, been my lane. So for me, it wasn't a hard transition because I had all those essentials in me. But you know, it had been a minute since I, you know, done an independent film. I've been doing a lot of writing and producing for, you know, some of the folks that you guys enjoy, love, and see. But this was me getting back to doing what I do. And so it wasn't with the, you know, the whole COVID thing. It was a challenge. You know what I mean? It was a lot of work, but it felt good getting back to creating. But to answer your question, now I'm in that drama. I do the drama like I do the comedy, and I think when you see this, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Right. That's really good. I can only imagine the plans you must have, obviously, for doing things like this. So my last couple of questions is, one, let's just say this thing goes like really big, and when we get past this COVID thing like this, will you expand your brand to outside other cities? Because if this works in LA, and you can imagine LA really needs it too, with all the, you know, the kids who need help. Would you? Yeah. Can you see yourself doing this in Chicago and Detroit? You know, these big, heavy gang cities.
1000%. The thing now, which, you know, which is sort of accidentally happened on purpose, is I'm about to do start the film school in a couple of weeks, which is virtual, and it's online because it has to be. And I think in that we sort of discovered to where now youth from all over the world can be a part of that. And ultimately, my goal is for long after I'm gone, for Left to Bang Entertainment to be this machine that sort of operates on its own and is self-sustained and continues to mentor kids and kick out scholarships and support them being on set and learning virtually. But I do not want this to be confined to LA. I want it to be, you know, worldwide, and definitely in the US, to where kids in Chicago, kids in New York, kids in Florida, Georgia, you know, Carolinas can be involved in this, you know, and I'm optimistic that, you know, that's where we'll end up in, because at the end of the day, you know, it's the saying we always hear, you know, the children are our future, but it's the absolute truth. And we have to begin to do our part in helping create a solid foundation for them where we can. And so again, if you know, if 2020 didn't put it into your head to where you can't just go through life seeing how much stuff you can get for yourself, then I don't know what else will, but I certainly will be doing my part. And, you know, whether that's 1, 2, 10, 100 kids or more, you know, what we did would have made a difference in that child's life and also made a difference in the world. So I'm excited about it. And again, I see this stretching across, you know, California, all the way to the East Coast.
So when should we expect to see the film done? Because I know it's a struggle trying to film now while you know, obviously we're in a COVID situation. When should we expect to see the film done? And do you already have distribution lined up for it?
Yeah, we do. We're talking to a couple of different folks, and nothing's set in stone. I can't say it now because it'd be like, he said our name. We don't have to give him more money.
Yeah.
We got him. Are you talking to Frank? Said coming on our channels, like.
I know how that goes.
Yeah. So, but it's looking like around the summer, man. And again, you know, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna be like, whoa, okay. And then right after that, you know, come back, you know, with a few more comedies. I got a TV show starring myself that I'm doing with Bentley Evans, who created, you know, Jamie Foxx show, Martin. called Like Father, Like Son. It's like a modern day Sanford and Son. Rolling to the
Netflix, right? Isn't that on Netflix? Isn't that on Netflix?
That's not as of now, but it may be actually.
Okay.
And so you get a lot of cool things we got coming up, and it's just all, you know, it feels so much more better because I know now with every notch and every project, you know what I mean, it pushes towards you know, helping out these youth who need it.
Right. Well, thank you for taking out the time. Appreciate you. Can you please tell everybody out there who's watching and who will watch this show how they can get in contact with you for the film school, and also to stay in contact with you so when the film does drop, as Adam and Eve drops, so we can find out more?
Yeah, you can hit me on all my social media platforms. The Brian Hooks on Facebook, The Brian Hooks on Instagram, and also Left of Bang, leftofbangentertainment.com, as well as Left of Bang Entertainment on IG and Facebook. Leave me a shout out, and if you have youth or a child or a cousin or a neighbor, you feel like, yo, it would be dope if he could be a part of this program. I have, you know, this first class, I keep them small to start, but I'm trying to hold a few slots for folks outside of my program so they can come in and experience, and cost them nothing but getting online and, you know what I mean, and committing to having an open mind. So, you know, hit me at Left of Bang Entertainment on the social media channels and you know, it could be a part of it. Possibly.
Well, thank you for taking that time. We greatly appreciate you all. If y'all sitting home watching this is Brian Hooks, actor, comedian. I said that right the first time. Didn't even know you were a stand-up comedian. A comedic actor, producer, director. He does everything, man. Brian, thank you for taking out the time. We greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. We're not gonna let it, you know, that much time go before we connect again. We got to powwow and figure out, you know, what we could do together.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hold on a second.
All right.